And you know,
the authorities were quick to act.
What happened in places like Maraba and Nyanya, where sometimes you have 7, 8, 9, 10 people living in one room?
You know that we are in an environment where infectious diseases have not actually been far from us. Every year we're having outbreaks of things like Lassa fever. So that actually strengthened our local community surveillance of infectious diseases.
Yeah.
So when you compare it with climes where they didn't have those regular frequent outbreaks. So even though those outbreaks were negatives, they actually helped to strengthen our own response.
Yeah.
And so yes, our own response to
agency response,
our
right?
own agency and communities, because a lot of these outbreaks do happen in communities. And another thing that worked in our favor is the fact that we have a very large population that is largely outdoors. So if you compare it to cities, urban cities out there where people are mostly confined in flats and they move into offices, everything is concretized. When you compare it, those are firm grounds for fast spread of infections like COVID. And so for us, the dispersibility of the virus, because of our large outdoor population, also worked in our favor. And then we don't know, because there's still research that is ongoing, we don't know the mutations and the changes that have occurred in us by virtue of infections that we may have been exposed to in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes they say when you have malaria, you know, and you had it severally, like you're in this part of the world, your frequency of it and the ability to really pass on from it is less reduced. Yes, okay. So I hope I'm right there.
Yes. You know, that's why sometimes I call you a chief. So these are some of the things that we also have to look into. And then humanity has a unique some of that we deal with, some of the environmental issues, we have strengthened, our genetics has strengthened in response to that, so that we survive as a race, so that we survive as an ethnicity. So these are some of the fine things that our research should actually be looking at to document, because there are some of these factors, though presently unrecorded, that may have contributed strongly to the fact that we did not have bodies littering the streets.
And talk
May
about
have. I love the fact that you use the word may, the term or whatever, may have.
About the fear factor, you see, it's not out of place to be scared now. Probably because in Abuja, it's not
I don't want to live in fear.
Yeah, but the reality calls for seriousness. If you had been to some of the areas that were affected by flood last year, for instance, like Anambra State, where you see an entire local government submerged in water, maybe you would take climate change a little more serious. Yeah. You know, if you
No, this is not me being flippant about it. This is me saying that the whole thing of constantly living in fear doesn't work for me as a person. I don't know about other people. I have to worry about bandits. I have to worry about terrorists. I have to worry about armed robbers. I have to worry about kidnappers. Now I have to worry about the environment. I'm worried about COVID. And when so our default setting should be that we are constantly living in fear.
Or turn it into an opportunity to take the needed action to make the environment safer for yourself.
What are those needed actions?
For instance,
go ahead.
You can start by planting trees. We develop our cities, we don't respect nature. We don't include nature in our development. So if you have a bungalow, say a 2-bedroom apartment, and you have, say, 3 trees around, of course, whenever you are home, you're sure that to some degree, to some extent, your home will be cool. So that's a starter.
The air quality will be improved.
It's better.
Because there are reactions that take place with trees that help build up what our air should be comprised of. And it helps with the quality of the air that we breathe. So when we talk about trees, it's not just about beautifying or making cool. There are actually chemical reactions that will take place that improve the quality of air around us.
The elementary biology, the one that says we breathe out carbon dioxide and then we take oxygen.
We take oxygen. All right. Somebody also told me some time ago that we could actually go to where you have the fishing pond, that we do the air that comes from the water has a way of rejuvenating your health. But speaking about health again, doctor, what are those predominantly, reoccurring diseases or illnesses we see around here about this period?
So you then have people who start having upper respiratory tract infections. So like the catarrh, the blocked nose, difficulty with breathing, those are some of the frequent things that happen by virtue of the end of the year. Before, it was more related to cold, but now it's more related to dust, particulates, fine matter in the environment. So you would even have people who are saying, because of the whole COVID-19 awareness and the wearing of masks, they're having less of those allergy symptoms. And really, it's just basic science. You wear a mask, and so the likelihood of those tiny particles being inhaled that will trigger either an asthma or an allergic response is reduced.